This set took me by surprise, as I did not expect it to arrive this soon. If you watch my videos on a regular basis, you might know that aside from trains and modular buildings, I also have a big love for dinosaurs. Since the T-Rex skull was only released last year, I wasn't expecting to see a full-body version so soon. So, let's take a closer look at this colossal set. As always, let's start with the minifigures. This set includes Dr. Alan Grant and Dr. Ellie Sattler, both of whom have appeared in previous sets. They are dressed just as they were in their first scene from the 1993 movie. Each minifigure features dual facial expression, and I especially love the alternative faces with those iconic 90s sunglasses, a fantastic nostalgic touch. Now, moving on to the set itself, starting with the base. On the left, there is a small archaeological site where you can position your minifigures. It actually reminds me a bit of the dig site from the Triceratops sets. There is also a recolored wine piece in tan representing a part of a dinosaur, but I feel it was executed more effectively in the Triceratops set. The set features 3 rock formations, 2 serving as bases for the legs and a third providing additional support. I really enjoyed building these formations as they reminded me a bit of the wall section from the Gringotts Bank set. Beyond the structural purpose, these rocks also hide few surprises. One of the standout details is Fossilized mosquito, which seems to be a signature element of these dinosaur fossil sets, as we have seen it included in previous 2 sets as well. If you're wondering why there is always a fossilized mosquito, it's because in Jurassic Park, scientists extracted dinosaurs' DNA from mosquitoes trapped in amber. To complete the DNA, they used frog genes, which later enables the dinosaur to reproduce unexpectedly. Scattered throughout the rocks, you will also find several geode pieces, which I believe are meant to represent trilobites. Additionally, at the front, there is a small hidden section that, when removed, reveals a printed 4x4 tile featuring a T-Rex skull fossil. At the base, there is a printed plaque similar in design to the sticker used in the T-Rex skull set. Interestingly, the plaque and minifigures can be detached, and LEGO has even included 2 extra tiles on the back of the plaque to cover the empty space when it's removed. Personally, I prefer displaying it with the plaque, as it makes the whole build look like a proper museum exhibit. Moving up, the entire dinosaur fossil is supported by 2 columns. According to the instruction manual, if you need to transport the model, you should hold it by these columns. While they feel quite thin in hand and could have benefited from a more solid grip, they are surprisingly stable and allow for safe transportation without any risk of the build falling apart. Now, let's talk about this beast. This is one of the largest LEGO sets I own in terms of size, and I have to say it looks absolutely stunning. It measures an impressive 105 cm or 45.5 inches in length and stands 33 cm or 13 inches tall. As mentioned at the start of the video, the set also includes 2 minifigures. While I appreciate their inclusion, the scale between them and the T-Rex feels a bit off. If the T-Rex is 33 cm tall in its running position, the minifigures should realistically be at least twice their current size to be more accurate. Now, let's take a closer look at this fossil from head to tail. Starting with the skull, I think it's important to compare it with the previously released set. When placed side by side, I can't help but feel a little let down, as they look almost identical, especially the upper portion. The only real difference is the lower jaw. The original skull had just two fixed positions for the jaw, while this new version uses two ball joints. On one hand, this is an improvement as it allows for more flexibility. However, the design feels a bit clumsy. The front of the jaw isn't securely attached to anything, meaning there is no fixed position, and it can shift slightly from side to side. Moving down to the neck, the skull is connected to the main body using what appears to be a new Lego pieces. These hold the skull surprisingly well, providing a secure connection. They also allow for multiple positioning options, but figuring out how they work takes some time, as they feel quite rigid at first. Looking at the neck bones, they seem larger than I would have expected in real life, but that could just be my perception. The most surprising design choice for me was this particular bone. I was skeptical when I first saw it in the store, but after researching actual T-Rex skeletons, I realized it's completely accurate, so that was just my mistake. And of course, we can't forget the signature tiny arms. Despite their size, they are fully articulated with multiple ball joints, allowing for a variety of poses. Moving on, the ribcage looks fantastic. It makes excellent use of various Lego pieces, and the vertebra on the top is well designed as well. But let's pause here for a moment, because Lego included a hidden surprise during the build. During construction, you will come across a tiny Lego frog, which isn't visible once the model is complete. For those unfamiliar with Jurassic Park, this might seem random, but it actually has a deeper meaning. As said at the beginning, frog DNA was used to complete the dinosaur genome. And that's not all. This frog is seated behind the Lego steering wheel. I'm usually not one for the Lego's little jokes, but this one is perfect. Moving further back, there is the illum, and pubis bones provide some flexibility, while the highly detailed hip section is joy to look at. Now, let's take a closer look at the legs. To me, these are the least fossil-like parts of the set, but they still incorporate some interesting building techniques. What disappoints me here is that the legs are fixed to the base, even though they connect to the main body using ball joints, meaning they could allow for movement, but there is no articulation. The only movable parts are the toes, which, to be fair, looks quite good. Finally, let's talk about the tail, which, for many, might be the most disappointing part of the set. Well, at least for me. It's built in 5 separate sections, allowing for only minimal sideways movement, so while you can adjust the pose slightly, it's quite limited. While each section has some variation, they feel overly blocky, as others have also pointed out, and they lack the sleek, natural flow of a real dinosaur tail. This is definitely the first thing I plan to modify, as I'm really not a fan of how it turned out. Additionally, I really wish Lego would recolor some of the Technic pins to better match those fossil sets. The light bluish gray stands out too much and feels out of place. If you're considering adding this set to your collection, it comes in at $250 or 250 euros or 220 British pounds, with a total of 3,145 pieces and includes 2 minifigures along with 3 instruction manuals. The first manual provides some background information about the skeleton and even includes details on how to transport it, which I have already covered. Just a quick note, this video isn't sponsored by Lego, but if you are thinking about picking up this set or any other Lego set or products on Amazon, please consider using my affiliate links. It's a great way to support the channel and I truly appreciate it. Thank you. When fully assembled, the model looks absolutely incredible. However, I do wish the design allowed for more movements, As it stands, the fixed position limits posing options. It would have been great to have a standing display option as well, since the current designs requires quite a bit of space. I'm still figuring out the best way to display it myself. When I first bought this set, I was a bit worried that the build might feel repetitive and tedious, but to my surprise, I genuinely enjoyed it. There were several pieces I had never seen before, which was a nice surprise, and the entire build took me about 6 hours to complete. Overall, I believe this is a unique set that doesn't really compare to anything else LEGO is currently selling. My biggest criticism is the lack of refinement in the tail design and the fact that the skull is nearly identical to the one released last year. Honestly, if LEGO knew they were going to release this version, they probably should not have released the previous one. It feels a bit like a cash grab. Why should I pay twice for something I really only need one copy of? That said, which of the currently available fossil sets is your favorite, and which one have you already picked up? Let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And if you decide to get any of them, don't forget to use the affiliate links to support the channel. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, happy building!